Okay, with each of your supports for a TIF master plan, let's talk about the current TIF proposal that's being discussed right now. From your understanding of the proposed University North Park Entertainment District, what are your thoughts on the project, and are you supportive?
I will just say the short answer is no, and the longer answer to that is I could have been supportive if 100% of the sales tax for the next 25 years had included the development of affordable housing and also a site plan that had mixed use, commercial on the bottom, housing on the top. None of that has seemed to materialize, so I'm not supportive of it. Additionally, when the OU Economic Forum panel was asked what would you do with $200 million instead of publicly financing arena, which FYI, they let us know that the SEC schools, majority of them are privately financed their arenas. Since they're not deep in city business, maybe they don't know that Norman actually has staffing issues throughout all our city departments. And when we talk about having a beautiful Norman, just remember that we don't have enough workers to go do the plantings all over Norman, from the beautiful interchanges that came through on Lindsay and Main to downtown. Our parks director took me by Lindsay Berry area and was like, oh, if I just had a few more people. But that's not the only position. We also talked about a right-of-way manager, I believe in Community Planning and Transportation Committee. A position like that could make sure that our right-of-ways have compliance from the utilities and other contractors that work in them. There was a gentleman who was stuck in a gravel pit because he was trying to use the sidewalk, but OG&E had not put back concrete, and thus he got stuck. With the right-of-way manager, we potentially would see less of these issues and faster compliance when they arise. Thank you.
And like I said, I am all for collaborating and partnering with the other agencies in our town, and this plan is promoted by EDC, OU, Chamber, Team Norman, Visit Norman. These are men and organizations that got together for a long period of time, worked hard, put their heads together, came up with a plan. Why are we trusting these people? I mean, they're the experts. We're just, saying, well, what do we want and what we don't want. But I believe it's time to do collaboration, do partnering with the people who know what they're talking about. And so at first I wasn't sure, the arena part is the least appealing to me, but if the people in NOU think it's a good idea, who am I to say it's not? So I think that is a prime example of what we need to do as far as collaborating and partnering with the other agencies in our city.
Well, you hear a lot of pros and cons. What I have heard so far, I'm supporting it. If there's other things that come up that we need to look at, we need to use some common sense and work that out too. I mean, for us to stand here and say, hey, I'm for this, well, only a fool will judge a situation unless he's heard both sides of it. I want to be a voice. I want the voice of our communities to be heard, and I want to be somebody that can be trusted. And I think that's what they're looking for. And unless we look at both sides of it and look at all the situation, and then we can make a final decision.
So I've looked at this through the lens of our economic people. I've looked at this through the lens of our developers. I definitely understand the arguments coming from both sides. I think Norman needs to put itself in a position to where if it has an entity that wants to invest $800 million into our city, then we need to be all ears and figure out ways to work with that entity to come up with big things for our city. And additionally, Norman's in a really unique position because if we do get an entertainment district with an arena, we'd be really fortunate to have wonderful anchor tenants in the top 25 men's basketball program, a historic women's basketball program, and both men's and women's gymnastics that are #1 in the country right now. Those are things that drive tourism and visitors, especially when it comes to sports and things of that nature. So I guess the jury's still out on whether this is going to end up being a great deal or not, but I think that if we have an entity that wants to make that large of an investment into our community, then we need to at least listen to it.
So the first thing I did after hearing about this was start reaching out to people to learn more about it. I've met with the OU athletic director. I've met with the CFO of the OU Foundation. Met with the mayor. Met with NEDC on it. I even reached out and talked to a guy in Lincoln, Nebraska, who was behind the Haymaker, kind of their entertainment district with an arena. This will be a wonderful thing for Norman. Right now, I mean, it's just dirt. It's not generating any money for the city nor the county. We have a chance to transform it into something magical. So I think it's a no-brainer. I do understand the people that are against it. I do understand some of their arguments. I don't understand all of them, but yes, I'm for it.
Okay, so the short answer, because we're talking about the TIF for the entertainment arena area, so I will say the short answer is yes, I do support using a TIF up there. Long answer is it's a very unprecedented TIF. So getting into the specifics about it is that it would be reappropriating 100% of the future sales tax and 100% of the ad valorem for 25 years to go into this TIF fund that would help repay, the arena. There isn't anything out there. There aren't any other TIFs out there that are appropriating or redirecting 100% of all future revenues. Now, it's not gaining. I mean, there's no sales tax out there right now. There's no property out there right now since it is a blank land. However, there is an arena. There is Lloyd Noble Center right now that does generate sales tax. If we move that sales tax generating venue to University North Park, and now we are reappropriating said sales tax dollars, my question, is going to be, is the difference, are we going to be able to make that up? Because now we're actually losing sales tax dollars. So again, I think I would like to see just a little bit of a tweaking, of the proposed plan, but I do support using a TIF for that. As Josh mentioned before, and we have private entities coming in here wanting to invest $800 million. I mean, I do think that from a city perspective, I feel comfortable with us saying, hey, we do want to put some skin in the game to that as well. And I think that net new, I think that'll be a good plus for Norman.
I don't support it at all. It's away from the university. It's being built for a university arena, basketball, gymnastics, wrestling. No, it's taken away from poor Norman. It's taken away from the university. OU away from OU and put it out on UMP. So I'm against the arena. I'm against the entertainment district. 8,000 seat arena. Yeah, we may get Darcy Lynn, but Peacock in Oklahoma City was ranked #3 by Country Music Association as a music venue here in the United States behind Red Rocks up in Colorado and the Grand Ole Opry. We're going to get Darcy Lynn, and they're going to get somebody like, Travis Kelce's girlfriend, whatever her name is. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. So I can't block her name out. But no, I'm against it. We need to keep the entertainment district around the university, because that's 25,000 people that are around wanting entertainment, and so why are we making it 5 or 6 miles away?
Yeah, so I think it's an intriguing concept, but for me at this point, I feel like I've got more questions than answers on whether or not I'd be able to support it. For me, the devil's in the details, and so meaning who carries the risk? Is that the city or the developer? Does this put the general fund at risk? Are we subsidizing this area at the sacrifice of other parts of town? I don't necessarily think that TIFs are inherently evil. I've honestly seen Oklahoma City pull off 15 unique TIF districts with no casualty to their general fund. It's showing that it can be done, but we as council members, we have a fiduciary responsibility to protect the treasury of Norman, and so we can't just blindly accept this TIF without properly vetting it. As an architect, I'm more interested in the site plan. Is it walkable? Is it dense? Is it green? Does it have mixed use? For me, it's less about an arena proper, but what all an arena district could support, like a weather experience, like tournaments at the YFAC, like other unique entertainment draws to Norman. And again, do those come at the expense of other parts of town? The southern portion of UMP has proven to be the highest trafficked shopping district in the entire state. So I think it's hard to argue the financial success of the area. But an arena district needs to contribute more to the urban fabric than just dollars. And so for me, it's a much more nuanced question of just do I support TIFs, but do I support the holistic plan?
So I think when I started in on this, I was a solid no against the arena. And as I've learned more, I'm open to this opportunity and really looking at what we can do with this. I agree. A lot of my, with Ray, and a lot of my decision was focused on just my connection to the university, and what I wanted is somebody who goes to athletic events at the university. But this is land that I can see really making a difference if all of our questions are answered about it. I'm worried about access from I-35 and what we're going to do with traffic. From what I understand, there's a plan there to make that happen, and that's something that I think we need. There's different opportunity within that area to grow that area out. It's not doing anything for us now as far as generating revenue, and so there's some things that we can do. But it is also something that I know is not just going to be confined to just that location. People are going to come into that district, and it's going to impact other parts of Norman also. But also what I mentioned earlier, we can't do this at the expense of core Norman. I mean, if we're going to make a plan to do that, we also need to have our plans moving forward and what we're going to do. Again, Main Street, Lindsay, that's the area that really concerns me. What are we going to do to revitalize that and keep that opportunity moving forward to attract business in? What are we doing at the same time with our plan moving forward with Campus Corner and downtown? And certainly on that east side, even though it is not my ward, I am concerned about what happens on the east side. That's an area where we just don't have resources, and we need to develop those resources for our community to thrive.
Matt, starting with you.